Inaugural Jencess 2002 Global Surge. Delegates just arriving for registration. Fernando there, trying to dodge the camera, and we'll be getting underway fairly shortly. Just waiting for a couple of stragglers, the normal culprits: Brock Horton, Steve Goodwin, a couple of other slackers. No doubt be along a little bit later. Great excitement, obviously, with the arrival of Mr. Goodwin. Brought with him his handbag-size laptop, obviously significantly smaller than everyone else's, but perfectly formed for Steve with his small hands. He's able to, there you go, showing it off to full extent to our president, Mr. Jencess. Our continental contingent here, Miss Kirsten McKenzie, just on the phone to France, no doubt brokering another enormous deal. Deep in discussion here. We've got obviously the brains of the company. These are the guys who make it all happen. Indeed. And good friend from New York, Paul. Skip, who's arrived from New York, is over there.
Some people over there from the UK.
Let's say Stevie's in color.
We're gonna spot over here for you.
I just gotta sit somewhere.
We want you right in the corner because we want you being able to pick up everybody.
Oh, there you go.
I just don't want to
It's
sit by the
yours, you can
mouthy
break
guy.
it, it's alright.
Oh, I was talking about you.
Get out of retirement for a little while.
It's overrated there. Things you retire, you work harder than you ever.
Couple more arrivals here. Gentleman, probably the mayor of Edmonton, who knows, talking to Kirk. Also got over here
Ravenwood.
Bill Healy, Asian correspondent, arrived. He's struggling already. He's the first man to have gone for the coffee, keep himself awake for a while longer. Paul deep in conversation about what we're going to be coming out with next in Pro Office. There's old Mr. Goodwin. Hasn't been here 5 minutes, and rather like Kirsten McKenzie, he's brokering a massive deal himself. Never off the telephone, always working on that next sale. Skip and Kirsten making acquaintances. It's the late arrivals of pretty boy Brock Horton. His phone's still on. Upset the president, he hasn't been here 1 minute. Nothing new there.
Yeah.
David's mayor. David's here. Things should be alright now.
Everybody here. All traveled in safely. I know you've come from a lot of different corners of the world. I guess we had a little incident there in Minneapolis with some landing gear going down, but it didn't stop Steve and Skip and Bill from getting in here from Minneapolis. Fantastic. I'm really excited about this week. I've had the opportunity over the last 12 months to meet you all, and I've always thought, well, if we could get everybody together, because there's such a diverse group, and bring all the ideas and the synergy together, it would be something that would be absolutely incredible what we could build here. We've got a great foundation of a company and a great foundation of a product to work with, so let's really get the most out of this week. We all have a common goal. We all have a common way of doing business. I know we all like to work hard, but I've also seen this group, they also know how to have fun. So like about this week, it's not just work. I also want to ensure everybody meets everybody, and we try to really be part of the barbecues and what's going on outside the conference as well. So we really continue to build what a lot of people that just walk in our office say, that we have really a team. Global Surge being the theme of our conference this year, I don't think there could be a better theme or trade line that we could have. We have a tsunami happening here, and I think that's kind of what's happening with Jencess right now. Matt and I started this probably, been doing it for 15 years, but Matt and I about 2 years ago, sitting there on a couch rebuilding the sales and where we were going, it's come a long ways, and I really look forward to the next 12 months. And this is really going to be kind of another starting point for taking Jencess to the next level. Let's make sure that we share ideas this week. We must do that. On a global scale, this is probably the finest group on a global scale. This is probably the most diverse group and the most balanced group that has ever been assembled in one place at one time. And I'm proud and honored to be part of the group that's here today. This is really going to be some exciting stuff. Jencess right now is on every continent. You see with our flags. The sun never sets. The UK might say this, is that in the Commonwealth, they always said we didn't want the sun to ever set on the Commonwealth. And with Jencess, there's always at one point, once we had St. Donat installed, Kirsten, the sun will never set on our software. Somewhere around the globe, 24 hours a day, the sun will be on our software and somebody will be using it. It's exciting times. We're in 9 different time zones, and we're also working right now, probably within the next 3 to 4 months, will be another 5 time zones. So that's 14 time zones that we're going to be in. I like that. If you look around the room here, and everybody's going to be introducing themselves in a minute, but it's incredible the number of years of experience. I think there are 4 people here that have over 15 years in the golf software IT business. Over 15 years, that's when we started. That's when computers had 2 floppy drives, and some of the gentlemen that are here are before that. So there's a lot of people here that are from the golf business, that have 6 years in business, from support, from development. Gone to trade conferences and BoardCon, for example. You hear a little bit about that, what's happening in development languages, so making sure we're always keeping ahead of the game. This is an open forum. This is going to be constructive, all right? Everybody will be listened to. And I want all the ideas to come flowing forward here. We're not going to set up any walls. We're not going to set any boundaries. As long as we have some sort of control to this group, because I know it probably can get really excited sometimes. But bring on all the ideas. Nobody's here to be offended. Nobody's here to be attacked. It's all going to be constructive. And I know this group. I know all the people. I know you don't know some of the others. But this is a constructive group, and we're all for the same vision. At the end of this, we're going to have a vision, a stronger vision. We're going to have a stronger plan, taking us to be number 1, to be the recognized champion, like the World Cup. Feels like another World Cup here in Canada today. We are going to be, when somebody on the globe wants to know about golf software for their golf course, they will know they talked to Heath in the UK and they moved down to Singapore. They'll know they were in China and they moved into France, and they're now a new director of golf. But we will be the standard. We might not get every deal, don't need every deal. But we will be the standard that people will approach and say, make sure you get and talk to Jencess, because I've used them on that point, and that point of the world. And they've always been the best and the finest, and they always move forward. So looking forward to a very exciting week. And I don't know, you're going to have to make sure the air conditioning's turned on in here, because it's really going to start to heat up. And I really look forward to it. A couple of people done a lot of work to put this conference together. As you can see, a lot of things, the name tags, the agenda you had there, all the way to the letters from the mayor. Incredible work. I'd like to recognize Rhonda and Damon for putting all this together in such a professional manner. Your Master of Ceremonies this week will be Damon Boudra. A little bit about Damon. Don't take this guy on one-on-one in basketball. Stands about 6'4", weighs about 220. Help me out, buddy. He's got a real discipline. I've known Damon for 10 years. And I saw him at the University Golf Club when I sold him my handicapping and tournament software in Vancouver. And I could just see there's certain people you can see in that he had a discipline, and he really wanted to know all about the software. If he had an idea, he'd phone me and say constructively, Kirk, you know, you should put this in your software. Always did a great job at the university, and then he moved up to the Westwood Plateau. A little bit about him personally: he's taken economics in Paris University. He's been on the French national basketball team, and he's also been on the Algeria national basketball team. He's new to Jencess. He's been with us now 2 months, but made a big difference, and again, helping us go to another level. So I'd like you all to welcome your Master of Ceremonies for this week, Daman Boudra.
It's a little wave would be good.
Gosh, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this in French or in English, so I have both versions here. So in case if I lose some words or if I misspell some words or if you guys didn't get what the word means, fire at me, then I will explain to you in French. And good luck.
Excuse-moi.
First of all, again, I just wanted to follow up on the Kirk's comments. I want to thank every one of you for being here. I know from the guys, from the folks at Boston to Toronto to all over the place. I know you guys had some important things to do too, and some family issues and some left and right things. But I know this is a big sacrifice for everybody to come here and join us for this wonderful week of sharing thoughts and sharing ideas. And like Kirk said, don't be afraid. I think all the egos are outside. There's no egos in this room.
There's one.
No, it's all still outside. So, but let's really share the ideas. And let's make it really worthwhile for everybody to be here and gain something from it at the end. So, we are gonna. You all had an agenda in front of you. There's a lot of. I know we couldn't fit everybody's ideas and thoughts in there, and we did the best we could to trying to get everybody's thoughts and ideas and have it on paper that everybody can follow what are we trying to do and the program for this week. If we miss something, we'll create space for it. But again, I will be sharing, I guess, this function here, and also I will have a clock. So if somebody starts going a little bit out left and right, I will give them a 5 minutes warning, a 2 minutes warning, and then they're done. No offense in anybody. We're not trying to offend anybody in any way. We're just trying to stick to our plan and agenda. And I know there's a lot of things for us to do and to accomplish. So that's the reason why it's going to happen. I'm going to go very, very briefly about the whole week. So what's going on and all the. In a few minutes, we're going to have Mr. Peter Langford Jones. I guess I hope I'm saying the name right.
Right.
In order.
Yes.
Peter is one of the gentlemen we've been working with, and Kirk's been working with for quite a while. He's also helping us really develop our business plan and business strategies for the company. This is basically what we call the way forward. We want to move forward, but also we want to be big. But being big, you have to be very structured. You have to have a solid base, and then everything goes from there. Without a solid base, we're not going anywhere. So Peter is gonna be coming up here in a few minutes and just give us a little overview to what we've been doing with him and how he sees us, and from a very neutral position. Just after that, we'll be having all our region heads, and we have a few of them, just giving us a little overviews of all their regions, what's going on, and what the progress that they've been doing, and the deals that's going on right now, and the sales, the good news, basically, and the bad news. We will hear them all. And of course, I'm sure everybody will be hungry by the time, so we'll be going for a quick lunch, and back again to our busy day. We have being new here at Jencess. First thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to learn everything about the company. We have a few different modules and suites, and and I didn't know them all. I know the one that I was familiar with when I was at the golf courses, but I didn't know all of them. So we're going to have a very quick overview when we come back from lunch. Is really how much everybody really knows about the whole system. And I know some of you knows it like backward and forward, and some of us, including myself, don't know really all of it. So I would be very interested in that session. And Karen and Kirk will be heading up the the little session there. I hope Karen is ready because I know she was a little bit behind.
So am I.
So this will be the good time for us to really refresh our memories and refresh our thoughts, and and trying to see if maybe we're giving we're giving the message out there without really giving the important information that's in it. So this is going to be a good learning experience for everybody. Experience, I'm sure they all have it. So all of you have the experience.
And worked my way up in this company. It's a great product. I'm very, very happy to work with it. Looking forward to seeing what's going on here.
And of course, Big Matt.
My name is Matt Welliver. I do almost with you. I've been with Jencess for just coming up to 2 years now, and seen a big change. Like Kirk was saying earlier on, it's been quite amazing where you can have anything you want in Canada, and there's the U.S. And my background is I used to be in the golf industry for about 4 years. I took a 3-year golf management program for my business diploma, and at that point decided to take my Microsoft Certified Systems Engineering degree, and at that point met up with Jencess, and my main role is I'm the Eastern Systems Manager. I work out of the Mississauga office. I do sales, support, and installations. I know this software quite well, but I am looking forward to learning a lot more about Actway and talk about just what's going on.
Thank you, Matt. Bill?
Hi, Bill Healy. Working out in Hong Kong in the Asian market. Did my first bit of work in the golf software industry, or the golf industry when I was about 8 years old. I've been in a while. Made a delivery back then. My degree is in political science and economics, some graduate work in accounting. Did a lot of work in North America, installing and selling systems. I got tired of selling overseas. Looking forward to seeing what, we've got a lot of great things going on, which I'll get into after 11:15. A lot of good things happening in Asia. And Matt works on the East Coast here in the U.S., but he also in Canada, but he's done some East Coast work in Asia as well. So we're looking forward to what we can do over there.
Thank you, Bill.
Alright, hello, I'm Matt Ariason. I'm a software developer at Jencess. I'm also, like Paul, a Nate graduate, and looking forward to taking the product to the next level.
Hi, my name is Ming Yang. I started Jencess about almost a year ago, and like Matter and Paul here, I graduated from Nate as well. Pretty excited about this conference and looking forward to meet all of you.
Thanks, Ming.
Hi, I'm Andy Chan, software developer, and same as all the rest of them. Excited to see you here and looking forward to build the best Actway we have.
Thanks, Andy.
My name is Xin Ji. Sin is the program and development department. I work for Jencess 4 years. Nice to see the Jencess growing up. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shane. Peter, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, or do you want to wait until your session is up?
Why don't you pass over?
Okay. Rhonda?
My name is Rhonda Fleming, and I'm the general manager for the Edmonton office. I started with Jencess about 3 months ago.
You just got booted out here.
Or am I manager? Or am I?
Way to promote yourself!
You forget to say president.
That will be the next conference. Office manager, sorry.
That's okay. That's totally okay.
Sometimes I wonder though. I do all the accounting and the bookwork for Jencess. I've been here for a short time, but it's been a really wonderful time. Everyone's great. It's nice to finally put a face to all the names. I'm just hoping we can enjoy this week.
Thanks, Rhonda.
My name is Kirk Jensen. I'm the president of Jencess Software and Technologies. I been a developer, I've been a support person, I've written promotional material, I've done support, I've sold Stanley Cup hats. I've done just about everything to keep the Jencess growing and building, do whatever it takes. I'm out of the Edmonton office here, really excited about the conference and really looking forward to what we got moving forward. Thank you. Steve?
My name is Steve Goodwin, Goodwin Golf Group out of Boston. Before I talk about myself for 1 second, I just brought a little token of my appreciation up here for Kirk, a little small gift. He actually, I know he's having a cookout at his house on Wednesday night. I brought the dinner. It's a can of lobster bisque from New England. And Boston, we are famous for our Boston baked beans, so I decided to bring up a little thing of baked beans. That's dessert at the cookout.
Watch out Thursday.
Yeah.
That's right. Goodwin Golf Group is based out of New England. We joined forces with Kirk back a year ago, April, and it's been a great relationship. I am one of those guys that Kirk talks about being in the business over 15 years. Fortunately, I brought with me someone else that's been in it longer, the guru of the business, but it's been a great business for me. It's been a great life to live, a great quality of life in the golf business. You deal with a lot of great people, as you guys are all learning now. And I'll have my side conversations about what it takes to really be successful in the business. But it's been a great relationship for almost a year and a half now. We did a lot of installations, which we'll talk about in a couple hours. And I am also looking forward to the next step in the evolution of software, which is a very important step to bring this to the level that we need to bring it to.
Perfect. It's, yeah, I work out of the UK office. We structured our business with 4 officers. Support is Hugo, who can't be here. He sends his apologies. Hugo's getting married 3rd of August. He's based in London. And I'm based in Sunningdale, which is a small town just west of London. And very pleased to be here. We're in the heart of the golf belt there, and we look forward to what we can do with Jencess in the UK market over the years ahead.
Thank you. I'm one of those people that's been in the business for an awful long time. I was the founder of a firm called Country Club Systems, which some of you may know about. And we started that company in about 1970, and we grew it up to about 3,000 clubs in North America. And then some things happened in the industry that we'll discuss tomorrow, so you're all aware of it. But it's been a wonderful ride. As Steve says, I'm a developer. I was a programmer at Eastman Kodak Company for years. I've sat on the support line. I've written the advertising material. Like Kirk, I did it all at one point in time to keep our ship floating. And what you find out in this industry is that you really have to do a quality job to win. There are a lot of people who go out and dance and put the hat on, but you've got to really produce a quality product and then have a quality staff that stands behind it and supports those customers, because they're all onesies out there. There's nobody that gives you 5% of your revenue. They're all onesies, and they all have to be treated well. Luckily, we did that for a number of years, and we were able to grow a pretty substantial business, and it's been fun. But I'm retired now, and I'm here as their guest, and hopefully some of what I have seen and some of the holes I've fallen into will help you people go forward so that you can avoid those pitfalls and concentrate on really where the money and where the expertise needs to lie.
In May, I worked in the Eastern office with Matt and Brock, and I've been with Jencess since October. I've been in the golf business myself roughly about 15 years in a bunch of different facets. I started in the pro shop, to the back shop, to the front shop, and then I took a 2-year degree in golf course maintenance in Toronto. And I was working there for 2 seasons. I moved to North Carolina for the last 7 years, and worked my way up to golf operations manager. And I just recently moved back in August, and it was just by luck happened to fall into meeting a gentleman who was working with Jencess, but then through one way or another, I was able to move in myself. I've taken some computer programming classes, and so I understand kind of both sides of it right now. I do installation, support, basically everything. Office secretary, supply manager. But
we want his title.
But I'm really looking forward to this. I was really happy to know that we were going to be able to do this and share ideas and actually put, like Ron, to put faces to the names and talk to people and see where we can take our product, because I'm excited about it and looking forward to the future.
I'm a member of the Golf Course Superintendent Association of America.
in the Golf Course Management magazine, and they did an article in there called Moving On, and it was basically people in the golf industry, basically superintendents who never really got what they thought of out of their job and moved on to bigger and better things. I was going to bring a copy with me, but
I'll bring the copy.
Okay,
It was very well written article, and we were very pleased to have Jencess in the article, and also yourself. Matt took more space in Brock, so I don't know what they had to do with that article.
the picture.
Was he in the middle? Kristen?
Kirsten Mackenzie. I'm situated down in the south of France, just near Italy, the Italian border. I used to work with Claire and Alec and Heath. Heath is my ex-boss. And I started with Jencess, I think, a few months ago, working in the south of France and hopefully the rest of France. I think there's a really big opportunity for Jencess in Europe as a whole, but most especially in France and Italy. And I look forward to working with all of you and moving ahead.
Thank you. Kirsten, by the way, just so in the Brock, Kirsten just finished up, she just signed the first deal in France. And believe it or not, it's there's a first of so many to come. I mean, she deals with some beautiful, like wonderful French people.
Yeah.
Time.
And the thing is, like, I'm always here for you.
Thanks, John. I should actually say that I also spent a lot of time in Japan through in my undergraduate and postgraduate degree work. So I also hope that we can expand that way as well, and I'd like to be involved somehow with that.
You speak fluent Japanese, Kirsten.
Yeah.
Great, wonderful.
My name is Brock Horton. I'm Director of U.S. Sales and Business Development, and also the office manager, whatever, gopher to Matt and David in the Eastern office. No, I'm just joking. I run the Eastern office. I'm very privileged to have someone of Matt's abilities from a technical standpoint, helping all the Ontario clubs and the Eastern provinces. And with the addition of David, from a support standpoint, they've really made me look good, and the Ontario office is shining. Here. Sorry, I just had to do that. I've been with Jencess approximately, about a year and a half?
I can't remember.
I know, it's been, trust me when I say it's been quite the ride from one evening in Orlando, which we might get to later on in the conference. Previous to Jencess, I was running the sales department for a .com company, bookforgolf.com, internet tea time company that is still, fortunately for us, still in business, and a partner of Jencess, which we can get into. And if we want any feedback, just fling questions at me. But what I'm looking forward to from this conference, mostly, is Aqua. I've got to be honest with everybody. I think everybody else is along the same lines. And also throwing around the ideas, seeing how all the other modules fit in together and how they flow. That's basically my main mission here, and I'm really happy to be here. And one thing I also, just to close, I look around the room and I hear everybody's story, and it's the amount of years, the amount of knowledge that I think this group brings to the table and to the company is extremely powerful. But then when I look at the other, everybody else, and I look at how many years they've been with Jencess, it just shows me it's a young team. And with this much power behind this team, we're all young, we're all hungry. We can do some incredible things, and I think it starts here. So, glad to be here.
Thank you. No, definitely, thanks for your kind words, and I'm sure everybody will take them to heart. So. Karen?
I'm Karen Nelson. I work out at the Edmonton office here. I'm team lead for support. I'm also do quality assurance for the software, a lot of testing, a lot of helping the programmers understand the requests that are sent in. I'm really looking forward to this conference. I want to use it to increase our communication. I think that's one thing. As we get bigger, we really have to make sure we keep track of everyone. Everyone feels like they're part of the team, and that everyone is heard.
Good. And just for everybody's knowledge, her nickname is a queen, and refer to her as a queen.
Yes. Well, I should also mention I've been with the company for a little over 2 years, and before that I was doing accounting. I've got a strong accounting background. So with this conference, I'm going to be boring you with accounting, and Skip's going to be helping me.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alec Howard. I work with Claire. I run the Midlands office, which doesn't mean lots to you guys over here, but our little country, we've divided up into 3 quarters basically, and 3 quarters? That's not very good. I'm going to have a session with Karen later. And I got the kind of the middle bit upwards. If you take London and go upwards, and
I know exactly what you mean.
I cover that bit. And I also run the project side. I'm the kind of cautious one out of the 4 of us, and so I kind of put it all together and ask the questions. And so what I need to get out of today or out of this week is just to try and tie down some of the loose ends that I feel slightly uncomfortable about. That if we can go away from here and we've got some of those tied down, then when we come to do our first sale, which hopefully is not going to be very far away, everything will run that much smoother, because it's going to be an uphill battle. Although distance, what Karen said about communication, you guys are a long way away. I woke up at 2 o'clock this morning because that was the normal time that I wake up, and there are problems with that. We've had problems working in our previous company with those communication problems, and we've got a lot to learn, and the more that we can tie things down and get things really tight this week, we'll be a lot more comfortable, and I think we'll have then the confidence to go forward and get the results that we know are just around the corner.
Hi. Hello. I'm Fernando Mancuso. I am actually senior technical support. I have been working for Jencess since 1997. Yeah, October 97, when we were me, Kirk, a programmer, and a salesperson. So we went through them all. And I came back 3 months ago, and my background is I have a forestry degree, and just lately got my hardware certification in my MCC closed. Just 1 exam left to that. I'm looking forward to hear from all of you and hopefully hear positive things.
Point 2 is
I am the loud one.
That you speak Italian as well?
Yeah, I speak fluent Italian, of course. I've lived down there 26 years, so if you need anything down there, installation, I'll be more than glad to go see my dad.
That was me.
And he cheers for the Danish national team.
And another thing, I don't like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh boy.
Kirk Page
Starting early, my friend.
Claire?
Claire Coombe, also out of England. I cover the western part of the UK. I've worked in the golf industry, director of golf for the club for 10 years, and then moved into IT, which is where I met Ethan and Kirsten. Apart from working in the UK, I'm also helping to set up in Europe as well. Meeting lots of people, making lots of contacts there. So also with that, we're gaining a lot of product knowledge over there, which hopefully we can bring to this conference as well.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you all for your wonderful input, and now everybody puts a name and a face and background. What I would like to do is at this moment is, I know since Peter was kind enough to come and join us earlier, I know he has a busy schedule today. So basically what we would like to do is we would like to get Peter to go to the little chat, more of an overview of what the company is going, like from a structure point of view, from a long-term planning and all the things that we've been working with. And we'll go from there.
Accept me as the 4th of your 3 quarters in out of 4 Maybe I'm the 4th, the missing link. I'm often being called the missing link, so I'll come with you.
What's your accent?
What's my accent? How about Liverpool? Good combination, isn't it? Well, all I can say is, wow. When I saw the name of this conference, Global Search, what it did to me was it expressed everything about Jencess that I know. And listening to all the talent, there've got to be about six or seven languages spoken around this table, and everybody coming from all around the world. And it's absolutely bowled me over just in the last half hour. I was being lucky to have been working with Kirk for about 5 years now, I think it was, and so that I am still the new boy compared to the length of time other people have been here. And in fact, when I got involved, Kirk had already been in the business for, what, 8 or 9 years? Something like that. And I love being associated with success. And if ever there was a successful group, this is it. And when I first associated with Kirk, he had been spending the last few years basically doing two things. One, first and foremost, was developing your product. And obviously any business has got to have a saleable product. And so Kirk had spent a lot of time developing the product, and then of course there's no point in having a product unless someone's prepared to buy it. So he was then going out and almost single-handedly at that time actually bringing in all the contracts that laid the foundation for the future of Jencess. And the trouble is, when you're at the beginning of a business, you're so busy developing a product, going around persuading Golf Course A and Golf Association B to buy your product that you really don't have time to do other important things, but things that are less urgent, such as all sorts of management things that really need to be put in place. But because the people who are working in the trenches in the early days, they don't get around to it. So in those days, it didn't make sense for Kirk to hire a full-time person to come and work with him on some of these management things. So what he did, he hired me to work with him on a project by project basis. And I helped work with him on the financial control of the company. We're in a business. Business has to be financially sound and finances have to be controlled. On the organization, on policies. And so really you could say that I was doing the management grunt work that was needed to underpin what Kirk was doing. But I was only the grunt. And I am with all my clients, I'm the grunt. All the decisions and all the direction comes from in this case, the owner, Kirk. So I thought that to begin with, I know that you've got an exciting 3 or 4 days ahead of you, and I wish I could be with you because I want to know what that was all about as well. But I thought that I would just paint a bit of a backcloth for you of Jencess as a business. And I know that you're all involved in doing all the technical things, all the support, all the marketing, all the sales. But at the end of the day, you're all part of the business. So I thought I'd just give you a bit of a backdrop as to about Jencess as a business. And typically in any business, there are usually 4 stages in a business's growth. If you take it on the historical perspective, the first stage is the system design in your case, when you're developing the product. And that's obviously the first thing you have to do. That's stage number 1. Stage number 2 is that you then have to go out and sell it because you've got to generate cash. Somebody's got to pay all the bills. And then the third stage, when the business starts getting up and running, more people come on board, the whole company then has to start being proactively managed. And then the 4th stage, well, this is typical of all the companies I work with. The 4th stage is what I like to call growing the business. And that's when you've got the product, you've got the marketing in place, you're managing it, but then somebody has to go out and grow it. I've heard quite a lot this morning already about strategy and direction. Where's the company going? And this is, to my mind, is what growing the business is all about. Figuring out does it make sense to go over that opportunity? Is that a better one than this? Is this something we shouldn't touch? It's looking to the future. And it seems to me that Jencess is now got the management in place and is now ready to leap forward into growing the business. And when I look over the 5 years I've been associated with your company, it seems to me, and I'm just the sort of dumb fireman who comes in, bounces in from outside once in a while, but I've seen three major turning points in Jencess, certainly over the last 5 years. And I think the first one was when you decided to convert to Windows. And I was around at the time, and I was a party to those discussions. And that seemed to, before then, my understanding was that the golf industry, technologically, was to say the least, a little bit behind the times. I think they just managed to grow out of using the abacus into DOS systems.
Not yet. They still use cigar bars.
They still use the abacus. And so, but it seemed to me that Kirk and everybody involved got their timing right here, because I sense that you judged that the whole industry was in fact beginning to come into the 20th century, and so this move to Windows, and I know it was a colossal technical project, and I think it's tremendous example of the technical excellence that this whole project went through. And the people who did that were beyond commendation. And then the second major turning point was really when you started going international. First of all in the US, and I was around a bit when you started getting into the US. But now that you have truly gone international, this has put the company on a totally different level. You're a totally different company. You're a company that's obviously going places. And then the third major turning point, and it's to do with this transition from managing to growing the business. And that has really been getting a general manager in place to manage the whole company. And this is why I think the man's presence here and the fact that he's on board represents a major turning point in the company's history. And it seems to me what's happening is that the whole company is being professionalized. No longer is it adequate for one or two people to be making all the decisions and doing everything. When you get to a company of your significance, everything has to be managed. And I see Daman's presence here is really the focal point of what I call the professionalizing of Jencess. It is a major crossroads in the company's history. So, as I see, Daman's job here is to be managing the company, freeing up Kirk to get out and to grow the business. Professional management is one of these management buzzwords, and sometimes I lapse into management jargon. But professionalizing management, in my view, is pretty simple, really. A professionally managed company is a company that is managed in an orderly and a well thought out way. That's all it is. You're not going off all over the place. You're doing things, you're planning, you have an organization structure that is in place. And Dave, if you would like a job description for all the things that you do, we're very happy to work with you on that. So there's got to be an organization so that everybody understands where they fit. Everybody understands where everybody else fits together, and so that then you can work together as a team. Another feature of being professional is that you become proactive rather than reactive. So many companies, and inevitably when you start, everybody's so busy reacting to that, reacting to this, reacting to the other thing. And one of the functions of being professional management is that you drive the bus instead of having the bus driven by events around you. I mentioned the team. The team management of the company is a key element of professionalizing. And then, of course, obviously there'll be financial control, things like budget, cash control. And the third one, the next element is this whole question of having a strategic vision, having a sense of direction. Where are we taking this company? How do we get there? But the most important element of any company is people. Good people is the foundation of every company. And from my observation, that is, you know, I have always felt very highly of Kirk's team, but after this morning, you truly are a really remarkable team of people. So, where do I fit in this? I suppose really my business is working with companies that are going through transitions. There are all sorts of transitions. You're going through a major one now of professionalizing the company. And I suppose really I'm just a facilitator. I always tell my clients, I cannot tell you anything about your business. You're the ones who know your business. But what I do know is I know every question you should be asking yourselves. And I can help you find your own answers to all these questions. And this is really what, you know, how I've been working with Kirk and now with Naman, looking to the future, just helping you figure out where you want to go with this thing. So, the basic objective of my involvement is to help you see that you have the management in place that will allow Kirk to divorce himself from the day-to-day management of the company. It doesn't mean to say he'll be out of touch, he'll know everything that's going on, but all the management will be in the matter. So, the three elements: leadership that knows where it's going, outstanding people, and another element that I don't think the word's been used yet, but really applies in spades to Jencess, and this is a pursuit of excellence. If you've got leadership that knows where it's going, you've got outstanding people, and you've got this philosophy, this pursuit of excellence. These are the three ingredients that come to success. I feel extremely privileged to be able to work with a group such as yourselves. You have a terrific company, and you have the brightest possible future.
Thank you very much, Peter. We have invited one of our gentlemen that are bank managers that does our finance and all the just to give everybody like an overview on how financially Jencess is stable and what the rating that we have and all that stuff. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it due to his busy schedule, but we have a letter that he drafted for us, which Kirk's going to read for everybody. And his name was Hugh Wyatt, and on behalf of Hugh, Kirk's going to give us his thoughts and all that.
Right, thank you very much, Naman. Yes, Hugh gives his regards to the entire team. We met with them about 2 weeks ago. We go through our statements annually. I've been dealing with Hugh again about as long as I've been with Peter, for 5 or 6 years, when Jencess kind of went to another level. Fortunately, he's at his anniversary today in Jasper, but he really wanted to attend here. He's really as well been excited about Jencess. The reason that we're doing this with Peter Langford-Jones and Hugh is I want to make sure that everybody here makes their living at a Jencess, makes their living out of selling our software. You have got to know that this is a stable, solid company. You know, we're up the stairs there and we're doing our things, and we know it's all rocking and rolling. But you know, does that get pushed down to everybody else within the company? You've got to know, am I with a solid company that we're going places and we're going to be around, because there's been so much IT problems that I'm thinking, you know what, I know how well we're doing, but I want to make sure communication, I've heard that a couple of times, which is excellent, is getting down to everybody to feel part of it. And Peter being a senior partner, was it Deloitte Touche? Peter, you were a senior partner?
Yes.
Yeah, Peter's got outstanding credentials that's helping us grow it again to the next level, so thank you, Peter. But I got a letter dated here, again, we met with Hugh Wyatt a couple of weeks ago, dated May 29th, from the Royal Bank. And I'll just read it to you. He wanted to pass this along. He says, "Dear sirs," and I guess madams, "further to our recent conversations, we confirm that Jencess Software is a long-time valued client of the Royal Bank of Canada. We are pleased to be able to offer you increased financing to meet your needs. Our analysis of your financial statements places Jencess Software in the top tier of our business clients. We are rated as a 1 out of 5. The highest is a 1+. The average business is a 3. So we are rated as a 1. Congratulations on your growth and success to date. Given your excellent suite of products, your strong management team, and focused growth plan, we anticipate continued growth and success for your company. We are pleased to be your financial services provider, and thank you for your business." So that's from Hugh Wyatt, Senior Account Manager for Jencess. So very happy for that. I can give you some statistics that he gives. If anybody here is like an accountant or something, but it gives you some idea. An interesting thing is that we have 12 cents of debt for every dollar of equity, which again puts us in one of the top tier. Okay, so every 12 cents that we have of debt, we have a bucket of equity. Our debt to service coverage is 6 to 1, which again is in the top tier. And our debt, yeah. He's got other things here, average portfolios and numbers. If you want to, I can share that with you. But we are in the top tier of the businesses, according to where Jencess is. I have no problem with myself or Damon to let you know these type of things, to let you know that you're a really strong team, and that we're committed. Like, I live a good life, but I am not here to take money out of the company. I love investing in people. I love investing in technology. I love investing in the world market. That's my focus. That's where I get juiced as the president of this company. So if you ever have questions on how we're doing financially, come up and see us. I want you all to know that we're doing a great job. All right, I'm going to turn control back to Damon.
In our I guess the region heads, and just to go ahead and give us a little overview of and summary of the region. And I know you all came in here all prepared and ready to rumble. So my first, I'm going to stick with the list that we have on our even maybe it's just. Can
Steve go first? I'm just getting a little organized here, that's all.
He's trying to give our guests privilege of being a
That's right.
Steve is a very kind guy, and I already asked him earlier and he agreed. So just to let you off the hook this time.
He's an integral part of my presentation anyway.
No comment.
Do
we have a conventional mouse that I can stick on this? I need one screen. I just need one screen on this.
What, help with that? I don't think we have it.
Just some of this?
No, floppy drive.
Yeah, I got a USB mouse if you want one.
No floppy drive.
Just
Jencess business, I don't think I'm wrong saying that, in terms of total concentration in a small area of the country. And there's no secret to why we're so successful in the Boston area. I've been in business down there since 1989. I had a company called Golf Management Systems, and we incorporated over 100, go down to the last, that's one of the very last one. Called Golf Management Systems that I started in 1989. Golf Management Systems, we had over 300 clients across the country doing exactly what we're trying to do at Jencess. We sold everything from back office accounting through to point of sale systems, handicap systems, tournament management systems. And in 1989, I sold Golf Management Systems to one of these internet companies that was caught up in this whole internet tea time flurry back in 1999 to 2000 that sort of went flop. Brock can maybe talk about that a little bit with the book for golf and down the road. But I sold the company to a company called the Golf Network, who still is in business as a golf call center. They took I had 50 people nationwide. They took the people, they took the code, and they just stuck it up and then dropped it right off the face of the earth. Called me back in, actually last year, and asked me if I wanted to buy the company back. I said, I'll just wait for you to go out of business. I did. They called me and said, will you take the company back? And I did. And I recruited back a handful of my people. We started Goodwin Golf Group. Actually, Goodwin Golf Group was my consulting company. We just brought it back into the arena. So the reason for our success, and I'd love to pat everybody in my company on the back for it, but we should be successful. I expected it. We went back out to the customers that we had as GMS. We said, we are reborn. We have the same crew of people, and we've got a great software package we want to bring to the forefront for you and install it throughout New England. And we did, not without its challenges. This is, in some cases, and this is a lesson for all of you, in some cases, and I would say out of the 41 installs we really did between January and May, in a 4-month period, we did 41 installs. That's an average of 10 a month. And anybody that's been in this business for a month can tell you that's an overwhelming, stressful job. And I'll tell you, I'm here for a few reasons, but a big reason I came here is to take out the people that really brought me to this level, and that's Karen, Fernando, Teresa, and the development crew. They have been absolutely outstanding, and unfortunately, the development people and the background support people do not get the credit that they deserve. I love the sales guys, I love playing golf with Brock, and I love going out and spanking the little white ball with Kirk, but I'll tell you, without the background and without the hand-holding and the desperation support you get when you're sitting there in front of a customer who's looking over your shoulder, and you're going to experience it, Kristen, and it's incredible, especially on your first few, until you get it down. If you don't have someone back there on the phone with you, so these people are very special to me. And this is the first time I'm going to be able to actually see them face to face and do something with them, and I'm really grateful for that. But as I said, Goodwin Golf Group, we really resurrected in November of 2001, got our first installation in December, and through May did 41 installations. Those installations included, for the by and large, point of sale, so it was by and large sailway, some T-ways, painfully some serveway and serveway pluses that we had gotten through, and even more painfully the Ackway, which we're all here to talk about. We do have 5 Ackway installations now, and they're in private clubs, and yeah, believe it or not. Total Jencess revenue is $170,000. If any of you mathematical wizards do the calculations, you can see that the per deal price was very low. We bought a little bit of market back, get some loyalties back for the golf management systems customers. Kirk has been gracious in working with me in that and helping me get a lot of the business back on his feet and started. He's
Steve, I think it's important probably for the mathematical wizards to also factor in those are probably U.S. dollars.
U.S. dollars.
Yes. So it's another world.
Those are all U.S. dollars. Again, Kirk and the relationship that we have formed together on a personal level has helped me get back into the business again. I was actually semi-retired when I sold GMS, and I was pretty bored. I did some consulting and some other things, went into a startup deal and helped that out, but that fizzled. And I got the juices flowing again, and by and large, because of meeting with Kirk and getting it going again. In the year 2002, our projections are for a total of 75 installations. So on top of this, when we go back into our selling season, September, October, November, December, we're looking to add 35 more. So that will give us about 75 installations for the total year, which will bring us to a total of Jencess US dollar revenue, software only, by the way. We do networks, we do installation, we do training. That's $1 million number by the time you're done. In terms of, that's $1 million business unto its own in New England, in the New England area. And a reoccurring revenue of $80,000 a year. The magic number here to any business, and I'm sure you can relate to this, the magic number to get to, you can measure your success based on the reoccurring revenue number. And when I was in college, I worked in the car business, and the car business pays their bills on the service revenue that they get taking in cars for maintenance and service, fixing. Their profit is in the sales. And a great goal for any business can be modeled after that. If you can build your recurring revenue to cover your overhead, what a fantastic business you have. Then the sales is all profit. If you can drive toward that, not that it's a perfect world we can get there, but that's one of the goals that I always had. I want to build this to my monthly overhead being covered on a yearly basis, and then the sales is just the profitability of the company, and that's to grow the money you put back into the company, as Kirk said.
If you build that right, that recurring revenue should come out to be about 40% of your total revenue. That's what ours was. Ours was running up in the $4 million per year.
Yeah. So you build an $8, $9, $10 million company, you can see, pays the bills.
And you can get it there too, but you have to provide the quality, and the people have to be there to get that number where it ought to be.
We're about 32%.
Yeah. It should come up to about 40 in the long run.
So that's an overall goal and a way that you can sort of measure your business success. And in terms of this, for really 4 months worth of sales, generating that kind of revenue. My people back home, as the support staff here, they're the ones that put it to the test and really made it happen. They have been working 60, 70 hours a week making it happen with clubs. And as we all know, especially when you get to Bathurst County, they are very demanding, very demanding. End of month, I don't want to be in my office right now.
Right.
Because right now, statements are being drilled. And even with 4 or 5 clubs, if statements aren't right, that's their revenue you're messing with. That's their accounts receivable. That's the heart of the problem. Oh, if a piece of inventory is lost in the golf shop, it's the golf shop personnel. No big deal. They don't care. But when you get up into the office where the owners are or where the management really is, and they start to see their numbers aren't quite right, that's when they pick up the phone, call you, and they want you at their desk right then. It's been a real success for us in our first full year of selling, our first 6 months of selling it. In the year 2003, we're looking to do more robust systems. We're looking to do full financial packages. We're looking to bring it from Actway all the way through to Sailway and all the modules in between. We don't have a big handicap market where we are in the States. We're not competing, unfortunately, with the U.S. Golf Association. So we don't do a lot of the handicapping you do in the provinces up here, and we never will. But we don't even mention it when we go on a sale. We lead, interestingly enough, with Sailway. We don't lead with T-Way like you do up here. I think Kirk told me a statistic a few months ago that 90% of your installations have T-Way. Whereas all of ours have Sailway and maybe 30% have T-Way. Our nature was always to lead with the point of sale, not the T-sheet sitting up on the screen. I understand why you lead with the T-sheets up on the screen. That's where it really all starts. So our mentality, as long as I've been in the business, I've learned. Our mentality is changing to lead with the T-Way versus the Sailway now. So going into 2003, we'll start to see more T-Way installations. A couple of little tidbits. I've seen the emails floating around. Matt, some great insight. You gotta spend time with this guy, everybody. He knows his stuff. The Telepro. I'm on the same side of the bed as he is on this one. We gotta really zero in on the Telepro. Very important with our own internet solution. Other than the fact that I am a reseller for one party, I'm not really interested in a lot of third-party software floating around out there. We're one full integration. I'm going to be pushing hard in this conference for one soup to nuts. We don't need anybody else to play in the game with us. Jencess needs to be its own internet tee time provider as well as the touch-tone tee time. That's a push I'm going to put up. I think most people are in agreement there with me. So we're not dependent upon anybody but the crew that sits in this room and across the street. That's where we want to get to in this conference. If any of you have any questions, I know Kirk has me slated later on about selling for success and how to close business and so forth. We'll get into that in the next session. But that's an overview of what you can do. It's called focus. It's called commitment. But up and beyond that, it's called working with a good partner. Being a distributor, as many of us are in this room, you're in a very vulnerable position. If you don't have a good partner sitting at the core technology, and someone that's willing to spend the money and the time, someone that's willing to communicate the way that we need to communicate, and someone that's, if they're not willing to give the service and support, we're useless. We're out of business. So being here is a great sign and a testimonial to the team at Jencess that we all care enough to spend our own, to come up here, to spend time making this better, and to help it all grow. So, all of us need to contribute to this. We have a wealth of knowledge sitting in the room. That's a cliche. You got to use it. Anybody has any questions on this down the road? I'll let everybody move on to the next presentations. All right? Good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next up we got Big Fat Brock. He's going to wow us with a load of...
Because Brock is trying to help with the spirit of cooperation, working together, going for the intent of his presentation.
And being environmentally friendly as I am.
As well, yes.
He is so full of shit.
So we're going to have to learn to share and cooperate. I'm sure for David's seen it before, he probably wrote it for him.
Part of it, copy it to them. That's what we did.
Okay. Basically, being in charge of the United States, guys like Steve Goodwin make me look very, very good in a very short period of time. But I can remember sitting in a hotel room in Kirk's, in the lobby actually, of a hotel room that when Kirk came to visit us in Ontario for the first time. We both sat down, and the main topic of discussion was Steve Goodwin. Should we give this guy a call? Is it the right call? Well, as you can all see from Steve's presentation, it was definitely the right call. In a very short period of time, Steve has been able to procure more business in 4 months than I think I could or any of us could have within probably a year of business. He's been able to...
Person's going for it.
Yeah, I know, I hear you. But in U.S. funds, that's pretty deep, that's pretty deep. In a year's time, he's been able to put on quite a few facilities, facilities that I think each of us working in the States, being Matt, David, anybody else, have I forgotten, have been able, or will be able to leverage off of. But a quick overview, I'll try not to go too in depth in this, you've all got it right in front of you. I'll just go over the market. Obviously over 18,000 golf courses in the States alone, including regulation par 3s and executive type courses. 72% or some 12,400 golf courses are open to the public. This is a massive, massive undertaking for us. It's given the fact that it is a very heavily saturated market, I think based on our product, we're going to do very, very well in the years to come. There are 5 states. Now, don't forget, within this regional overview summary that I presented here, a lot of things, because this is an open forum, are a lot of things that are proposal, coming straight from me. There are 5 states that I feel that the company should be focusing on moving forward in the next year to 2 years. Florida, California, Michigan, Texas, and New York. Based on the number of golf courses each one of those states have, the numbers are staggering. Now, within those, National Golf Foundation, which is, I take it as the best forum to find out information about new courses, courses under development, and so on, have basically stated that in the year 2000, over 524 new courses came on in line across the United States. 87% of those were open to the public. That's our market right now. Obviously, getting into a little bit more in Aquay, a lot of more private facilities will become ours. Their 2001 stats identify a market expanding in every state. In 2001, 397 golf courses opened up. Number of under new construction were 639. You can just go on, you can just see the stats as I'm just moving forward. I don't want to hold up this meeting. But as we go forward, key market findings. 78% of golf course pro shops have computers. Figure is quickly increasing with tee time reservation systems. Most common uses for computers right now are obviously point of sale. 94% of those, and 75% have inventory control. 48% of those pro shops surveyed, this was a 200 club survey, have internet access. Now, we can all attest, right, Matt? The internet access isn't the best, but they do have it. And thank goodness for our live updates. 30% of those golf course pro shops have a website that is commonly used for general course information and advertising. This goes hand in hand with what Steve was mentioning. Basically, hopefully having our own internet tee time piece moving forward in IVR Telepro that can basically link into those websites. This is a new age, and I think a lot of the more high-end daily fee golf courses are looking to utilize their websites for more use.
Their
not
own
just,
websites.
Pardon me?
Their own websites.
Their
They don't
own
wanna be
websites,
cool.
correct. This is something new for us also as we develop Tourway. That's one of the things I'm going to bring up. A lot of high-end golf courses want to be able to have tournaments at their golf courses. And then if they're a high-end daily fee with a small membership database or base, they want to be able to post those tournament scores right on their website so their own members can go and view the scores. So it's something to look into. National Golf Foundation industry stats, there they are right there. So in 2001, over 1,852 golf courses in total were either open, under construction, or in the planning. That's pretty staggering. When you take the number of golf courses in Canada, does anyone know that number? Golf courses in Canada? Anyone know that?
10% of the U.S.
10% of the U.S.
It's amazing. As far as the place, marketing and sales efforts, again, they're going to include California, Florida, Arizona, Michigan, Carolinas, Texas, and Georgia. The objectives that I've got for the open territories, this is excluding New England, are to basically drive demand with the 10 markets that I've mentioned above, negotiate and sign over 40 to 45 separate Jencess modules, or in around 200,000 US dollars across the 10 major markets. I think we can do this. I think, you know, we do have some obstacles to overcome. We need a couple more representation. We need some local representation in some of the key markets, and I know Kirk and I have been discussing that. From Toronto, I cannot do this myself. And I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be having a meeting with both David and Matt in the coming weeks to get them more involved into the states that they currently have.
Well, you need to have a person in the state in Florida.
You bet.
I mean, Florida is so huge that, and I think your numbers are a little short on what Florida really has, but it's so huge that you have to have a person who really resides in the state of Florida.
Right.
It's the only way you can handle it.
Yeah.
If not, you're gonna get beaten by any one of three competitors who have a person right in the state with support people right there to, you know, walk out and help the customer.
It's the same with California.
California's different because you got northern and southern, and you got real concentrations in those two golf
In the
associates.
pockets.
But
Yeah.
but Florida, you know, you put a person in Orlando and they can really cover that state in
Entire
every
state.
direction, you know, in a 4-hour car ride.
Yep. You bet. Sales year to date, we had a bad May, as you can see. Don't look at the March. That March down there was not supposed to be there. That's 0. But obviously, with the help of that was supposed to be just an average. Wasn't gonna be able to put it in there. But in May and June, we've had some obstacles with a couple of the key management companies that I've been working on just with the product. We had a couple other reports in Ackway, as we all know. I would have been able to procure probably about 4 other golf courses. But now that we have this report, I'm thinking that by the end of June, those numbers will come around. As far as the competition, I think anybody dealing in the States knows the competition. Over 27 golf management solution providers currently exist in this overly saturated market. Of the competitors that we run into the most of, and that could be based on basically the regions that we're currently going after, IBS, Crescent, Pro Shop, and Jonas will be, and 4 reservations. Of those competitors, IBS is the highest price ticket. They can run anywhere from, for a complete system, what they call complete system, anywhere to, with hardware included, anywhere from 40 to 60,000 US.
I think when you start really going in, all of these, Jonas International?
Jonas is even higher.
Jonas is higher, yeah.
But I mean, if you look at these, if you look at these providers, they're all concentrated basically in the States, mainly in the States. Crescent Systems is more along the lines of us as far as pricing. Pretty well, the average sale price of a complete suite or average modules, let's say T-sheet, point of sale, food and beverage, costs are in around $20,000. Pro Shopkeeper, bottom barrel.
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel. Well, sorry, 4 is even lower. Pro Shopkeeper speaks and they promote an integrated product. But as you'll see in my presentation, hopefully on Thursday, they basically link into many other companies. But they stand out and they sit out and they market the hell out of themselves as being a fully integrated provider. Nowhere even close. And the reason I know this is they were one of my partners when I was at Book for Golf. Basically, they used our T-sheet, but they sold it as their own. So.
And they use Club Technology as their accounting, and they sell it as their own.
Exactly. Now, Jonas software. Jonas is basic, or I should say Gary Jonas, right? Gary Jonas software. Mainly geared towards the private end industry. Again, another company that preaches fully integrated proprietary software.
It is.
Well,
It is now. It is.
Well, they haven't developed their T-sheet. They're still using Merit Softs. Okay.
They don't have a tournament module.
They don't have a tournament module. So again, they don't have the full gamut. 4 reservations. Who knows anything about 4? Steve-O. What do you know about 4?
I talked to Harry a couple weeks ago. This guy he played the long ball. And he was able to do it because he had deep pockets.
Right.
He sells a point of sale and tea time solution, nothing else, and it works. It works very well.
former accountant, and he played the long ball. He won 1,000 clubs. He is at 1,000 now and going to 2,500 for $1,000 a year for an 18-hole facility, plus an installation fee. You get your own hardware, $1,000 a year, point of sale, and tee time, and a nice little package.
Yeah.
So when you compete with that, walk away. If they really want to go cheap, you're not going to be able to sell them. Don't waste your time.
When you compare his tee sheet to ours, they're very, very similar, and that's what's scary. That's what's
Yeah.
scary.
And he played, if I get to 1,000 clubs on $1,000 a year, it's $1 million. He has 4 people. He happens to have very low maintenance software.
That's right.
Now, he's only in the States, and a lot of this doesn't apply to you folks overseas. But, you know, it's a product that he could take overseas and start to affect other people. Now that he's making money. His overhead's probably $400,000 or $500,000 a year, if that, and he's got $1 million coming in.
Steve and I have we've competed against them a couple of times, and we've gone low just to get the business.
And I wouldn't
But
do it
you know
again.
what? We're not going to do it
I wouldn't
again,
do it again.
because those clients then expect it again for their other clubs, especially management groups.
Matter of fact, there was one client that I did last year, in December, and they came back up with 2 other clubs, and they came to us one same day. I said, go to them. So they got us in one of their clubs. And
If I may just intervene, we probably need to keep going in because we have some other presentations.
told you.
And I'm sure
Okay.
there will be some other questions and answers later on in the session where we're gonna have this thing talking about anyway. So.
Okay, because of the 27 golf course management companies, obviously, one of the challenges that we face every single day is price. We've had to heavily discount just to get into the markets because, quote unquote, we're not a new player in the industry, but in the U.S., we're the newest. So branding us, branding our name, branding what we do, although I think we're definitely the global leader as far as the software. Now getting out and branding that and getting clubs to accept that is a whole different thing, especially in the States. It's a totally different ballgame. As far as what I think is needed, communication for the new product enhancement offerings, internally through product management role. Firmly believe that we need a product manager, simply put. Everybody else can go into it. I think also we're starting to utilize Aardvark, Salesforce, and our corporate email and MSN has been excellent. I think if we continue to use that, we'll continue to improve and just continually to go further. Strategy, I don't need to go into this really. You can read it over because I don't want to take all the time up. Trade shows, the tactical plan, I want to hit it from trade shows, association shows, through web, online demos that I think, Matt, you're going to be going into a little bit? Okay. Through public relations, customer referrals. And I firmly believe that as we go forward, Customer Advisory Council, gather key customers quarterly to survey satisfaction levels and refine overall marketing and selling programs. I think that would be a great tool for us to have. Same thing with the Sales Advisory Council. Being out east, not being able to talk with Karen and the programmers on a daily basis, face to face, I think hurts us, hurts the Eastern crew. You know, it's one thing to talk on the phone, but to sit down and really go through a week of intense sort of, not bonding, but sharing of ideas, telling what's out in this workforce, you know, out in the market, it would go very far. As far as the advertising, I don't need to go into that. You can read it for yourself. I firmly believe that as a new company in the U.S., I know Kirk will disagree with me on this, but we need some sort of advertising. And I firmly believe Golf Business Magazine is the publication to do it. For years, I have, in previous companies, had quite a bit of success within this publication as far as branding is. It's the most widely read publication in golf in the U.S., and I think that's where we should do that. Now, as far as the trade shows, you've got all our trade shows down and all the stats. So you know what? I'll wrap it up with that. Any questions? See me at lunch. Okay?
Thank you very much, Bob.
Year-to-date sales, probably about the happiest person can say we haven't closed the deal yet. So right now it's 0. Projected revenues for the year 2002, I'm placing it, it's going to be between $500,000 and $600,000 US for this year. We're going to actually see a majority of that contract over the next 2 to 3 months. Hopefully one of it is going to be, a large part of it's going to be in the next 4 weeks. The largest client I'm working with right now is Hong Kong Resorts. Kirk's been out there to visit them, Matt's been out there to visit them. Spent a lot of hours with them with Matt. Good week out there, night and day. And actually their IT manager is flying into Canada in about a week to 2 weeks, and he's going to come to Edmonton and with staff in about 2 weeks' time. So he speaks Cantonese, but he's Canadian. A few of the other projects that I am working on that look very promising. One is Shanghai Links. China is actually our biggest market at the moment with deals that are already closed. Shanghai Links, the director of golf and quasi club manager is a former Jencess user, Jeff Palmer. Do you remember the course? Yeah.
Olympic View in Victoria.
But he was very happy. He's very excited to do something with Jencess out in China, with Shanghai Links. They also own 5 other courses and 5 other golf facilities in Asia. Also working with the Macau Golf Club. They're part of the CCA International, which has their headquarters in Hong Kong and another headquarters in London. They currently use a system called HDR, which has 10 installs in Asia, most of them in China. But HDR went out of business about 6 months ago. And I'm fairly close to Keith Lawson, the director of golf at Macau Golf Club, and he's taking us into CCA International. So that looks very promising. Meeting I had a couple of weeks ago in China also was at the Zhuhai Golden Golf Club. That is a course managed by IMG. And IMG currently has 11 different facilities around Asia to manage. And I feel fairly comfortable with that at this point. And then we have other projects going on in Thailand and other communications going in Southeast Asia. But at this point, our biggest concentration is in China, in Hong Kong, Macau, China markets, because that will be, for the year 2002, the bulk of the revenues that we pull in. But with product, everybody I've presented the product to is very happy with it and looking for the same type of changes that Steve and Skip and the others going to be talking about as well. The only additional thing is the multilingual portion that we've all already been considering for France and other markets too. My only competitors there really are in Southeast Asia is IFTA, but the margins in Southeast Asia are fairly meager, so it's not going to be a big focus at this point. The biggest focus will be in China and Hong Kong, where my biggest competitor is unfortunately called Ancient Software. I don't know why they came up with that name, but Ancient Software. Right now they only have a Chinese version, but they are modifying it into an English version as well. So right now I'm very happy with the prospects for 2002. I think we're going to have a very good year, very profitable year for Jencess. The biggest focus the past few months has been introducing Jencess because they had no idea who Jencess was in the regional.
Maybe Bill too, if you can mention a little about Africa, Mauritius, since you were the one mostly.
Oh yeah, Kirk and I spent a nice couple nights and days in Mauritius. So if you have a chance to go to Mauritius, anyway, it's the only time I'll be there with Kirk.
That came out wrong. Sorry, you went there.
No, it's where I was leading anyways. Belmar Plage is a very high-end resort that caters to mostly Europeans coming into Mauritius for golf holidays and sun holidays. I've been talking to them for the past year and a half and brought a couple other key time systems to them, but Jencess is now the one that they're considering. It's either Jencess or nothing, but I think our prospects in Mauritius is very good. In Africa, I like working with the African market for various reasons. I've worked with Kenya, the Kenya Golf Union for the past 8 years, something like that, and have implemented the national handicapping system in a former life in Kenya. And we have ties also in South Africa. Kirk has now met the next chairman of the South African Golf Association, and he's currently the executive director of the Ernie Ellis Foundation. And we're talking to both Kenya and South Africa in designing national handicapping systems in those markets, and maybe on an Africa-wide basis. And Claire was with us in Kenya as well. I think it looks good. It's just prioritizing the profits that we're going to get out of each. Any questions? I can put this on a bit later.
Thank you, Ben. Can we going to move along again, and I would like to have.
The makeup for Brock's little
I'm boycotting. Thanks, Claire.
We first met Kirk obviously in the UK. In my previous job I'd done some work in Europe as well and started talking to Kirk then about the opportunities that we found over there. To give you an idea of the market size, there's about 5,500 clubs in Europe in total. 3.5 million golfers last year with 15 national golf federations. So although it's nowhere near the size of the US or anything like that, it's still outstanding. 20 new courses being built in France this year, and 25 new courses being built in Portugal. So it's huge. That's in the next year. Huge expansion. Together with that
Mr. Chairman, could you ask the speaker please to stand up so we can hear a little bit? Oh.
Rough call.
I'd rather stay sitting down. Mr. Chairman.
You know, or you can sit down if you like, but as soon as you know, as the things, you know, you can do presentation on the screen.
You can't really generalise because the regions are so diverse. In France and Italy.
You mean private to commercial?
Private.
Originally, in the last 15 years, I would say that it's gone with that, let's say, investment.
One called Concept Software, which is out of Portugal. They have about 90% of the southern European market. And another one called Albatross, which is out of Germany. The way we've structured it, it's going to be a combination of resellers and employing staff under Jencess corporate. In some of the more, very political in Europe, there's over 50 different languages. Some of the politics is actually laughable. To give you an idea, in Belgium, the federation is actually just split into two. Everyone else is getting more integrated. Belgium has just gone the other way. It's a Dutch-speaking federation, a French-speaking federation, now a ladies' federation. And that's within a country that has 75 golf clubs. So areas like that, we're just going to get resellers to take on the more political areas. So what we've achieved so far, our first step was employing Kirsten, obviously, with her contacts. We've now got Ricardo, who's down there, who's a technical person working with Kirsten. 2 contracts signed in the last 3 months and another 2 imminent ones, which Kirsten's having fun with, to say the least. The next 2 coming up. But they're both very prestigious clubs down there. They're going to be very good reference site for us. We've signed up a reseller in Holland. They're very active in the sports industry, especially in tennis in Holland. Taking on Holland, Belgium and Northern Germany. We're talking to keep sort of the area because it is so diverse, we're talking to companies on a local basis, whether they're marketing companies, technical companies. We're talking to a company in Switzerland called Frame, who Kirsten's dealing with again, working with them on a marketing agreement. Made contact with potential RSD in Germany, also in Portugal and in Switzerland. There's 2 big trade shows that we're going to. One is Munich, which follows the Ryder Cup, which is called Golf Europe. There was 5,000 visitors there last year with 300 exhibitors, so it's the biggest trade show in Europe. We've got space booked to that, which we'll be sharing between Jencess UK, Jencess Corporate and our Dutch distributor, so it keeps the cost down. There's another one down in Marbella in Spain, which was moved from the UK, which is a pretty good move where we're all concerned. That's a slightly smaller one. There's 125 stands. They had about 2,000 visitors last year, so we'll be at both of those. Our main aim is really to get the software translated into probably 3 or 4 languages first up. It's got to be the first. That's our biggest barrier at the moment. Whilst we're okay down in the
Mediterranean sort of staff speak English, and as soon as you get into provincial areas, they don't want to unless it's with their local language. And also to get local support. Again, they don't want to be dealing with support in the UK or in Canada. They want to know that someone's there on their doorstep. Challenges, again, same as Brock, it's mainly price-based, very price-sensitive market, but also from our side of it, it's a very expensive place to do business. Everything is more expensive down there, and it's getting a balance between the two is interesting for sure. Communication has been another challenge. Obviously, the 8 hours time difference. If we sort of want to get hold of someone here, there's no one there, then it's a whole day before we can then get anything resolved. So, apart from that, it's all taking time, same as Bill. It's really been the last few months getting things set up. It's looking very, very positive. And we're getting everyone in place. And it's coming together bit by bit.
Gentlemen, Matt Oliver.
This is better for the video, yeah, with the light there. Yeah, thanks.
What Paul is handing out is something that I'm really proud of. We rocked, us up there in Eastern Canada. Brock, David, and I. You guys should just get a chance to come out to that office and see us, the synergy that we got in there, because this is pretty impressive. Yeah, we are under budget. I'm still proud of it. We lost a big deal to Barron that was 6 courses, and we're only about.
Can I just ask one question? Can you mention why we lost it?
Yeah, we lost because it's functionality that we don't have, and it was multi-company actway through VPNs and all this stuff that direction we're going to, but they still found that the back end was driving the front end, which is my #1 biggest pet peeve. So take a look through here. I'm not going to go through every golf course, but I'm proud to say I made a mistake. We should add another $10,000 to this for Hamilton. Just some numbers for you so far. And this is year to date.
Wow, these are great numbers.
Just
this is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what we did last year.
Wow.
It's been a big blur for me, but it was great to sit down, and David and I and Brock to kind of put all the numbers together and did the auto sum in Excel and went, wow, where we're at. Kind of had an idea, but it's interesting there, Steve, how you said, you know, your T-ways or your sail ways. I kind of looked at my numbers here, and it was even, 15-15. I think we're projected right now to have about 20 or so, but 1 serve way, or 4 serve ways, 1 score away in Atlantic Canada, 1 tour away. We did have one that was returned. They were looking for something else, and that's fine. We were fine with that. And no actways. We did have one returned recently. We must say that it was mutual decision. They don't. I have all their information and questions that I'm going to be bringing up and how we could address their needs, but I do not think that they were following proper accounting principles.
Who was the club, man? Who was the club? What was the club's name?
Grandview Golf Club in Halifax.
Nova Scotia? Halifax?
Yeah. Isn't it, David?
Yes.
And 24 years old, and I have gray hair. So 43,000 under budget, so that's roughly about 37 or so, give or take. We do have some deals on the go. Tell you the truth, Ocean, the centralized handicap system for the last 2 months have taken about 99% of my time to get going. We did a DOS to Windows conversion, 78 golf courses, a few minor things along the way. You know, you're dealing with internet technology, and oh boy. So things are starting to slow down, and I want to thank everybody who helped us out on that, and who still is, because without you. That's for sure. Some quick bits of information for you. Trade shows, the Ontario PGA show, we always find that one very successful. And the Atlantic PGA show in Fredericton, where I sit in my hotel room and this big. And believe it or not, I believe I got about 6 or 7 deals in Atlantic Canada just for going to that show. We're the only software company there. And I lost 1 deal to Jonas because of a pricing issue. accounting, but other than that, I've not lost a deal. It's because they've held off on money, just because they got a big deal, 3-course deal. They've been, she said she looked at over 20 systems, and it came down to Jencess. And it was pretty rushed near the end there, and we had good pocket the price. That was great. Pipeline, a few courses are on the go right now. Pretty sure that we will reach our budget, if not exceed it. As now that Odin is slowing down, we can start picking up our shoes and get going. Some of our concerns, this was new last week, was Baron selling tactics. We will come on site and program whatever you want. Quote. Baron also, their financial concerns, they have letters from their lawyers stating that they are fine with money, and they're using that large deal, the 6-course deal against Jencess, and they're being upfront and honest about it right off the bat, about their financials, but they're coming right in about Jencess, because we are the #1 software in Ontario.
No, there, and it's taken us 1 year to become the #1 in software sales in the province of Ontario. And that says a lot for Jencess.
You sure? With Jonas?
Yeah, pretty much. And well, no, taking the private club and double in Daily Feed Public.
You might mention too, Matt, that even though Lionhead is gone with Baron, they wanted Jencess, and they would still be a reference for us for Jencess. It was just a centralizing of the billing is the only thing.
I can let a reference from this course. And they even, I was talking to them the other day, and they're like, use it.
Yeah.
Some concerns, Zogen, is it hurting us? It's a political game there. But we got a lead last week from a course through Ocean. They do the Don Valley there, which is golf courses in Canada. Of course, the old Book for Golf issue is Atlantic Canada customers who do not like Book for Golf. They will try and steer away from them for some reason. I do not know why. They just don't have Book for Golf. I don't feel is dedicating enough time to get people going in Atlantic Canada.
Just look at the stock price.
Successes with Actway coming along. I know Jonas customers are unhappy. That's coming from one course, National Pines. They did not want to go with Jonas for their back end in food and beverage, but they felt that our accounting was not there, and they want to see where it gets to in the next couple of years. But that they're telling me that that's where some customers are at, is they're not happy with Jonas. Of course, they don't have an integrated T-sheet. And I suspect we'll get about 10 private facilities in the next 2 years. And successes, Atlantic Canada, Newfoundland. Thank you, Kirk, for heading out there when you did. Atlantic Canada, when a new course is built, or they're looking at a system, they go to us. Needs, maybe another employee out on the eastern side to help us out there, to attend the NGCOA trade shows and follow up on them more, a little bit better.
Actually, Matt, just as a point on that, like when Matt says when I headed out to Atlantic Canada, that was like 10 years ago. I went out there where nobody wanted to go visit Atlantic Canada because they were the guys that couldn't drive a turnip truck, and nobody felt like it was a market worthwhile. Once you get inside a market and you are committed to that market and you respect the market, you get it all. Yeah, they tell it, because they're all good old boys and good old people, and they tell everybody. It's like I really encourage like the Kirsten in Europe and Bill knows in the UK. Once you start becoming like treating them with respect and really caring about their market, you will become the person they can talk to because they just want to talk to you. And I don't even know, half the time they probably don't even go somewhere else even to check anybody. Because you've done a really good job there too, becoming one of them. Because Matt gets his pictures at the trade show with ladies beside him, and they have them up in their pro shop. Like, this is our Matt.
Gander girls.
Don't have any women.
I know the Gander girl.
And that just makes such a difference.
Yeah, no, it is. It's unbelievable. You know, at any course, I can call in for a reference there. I have no problem with that. So keep this. It's important for us. It needs to kind of shows, you know, our work there. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And for we're looking for our friend Heath Harvey to be
our closing. He's going to do such a good job. This session is going to be memorable. So you have 2 minutes.
I think it's actually about half a minute. I'll keep it sweet. I think Brock and Steve have sort of spelt out their agendas, so everybody's clear what those guys are looking for out of this week. I think one of the things that our team in the UK are looking for is the stage we're at. Peter discussed earlier, I know he's just left, but we haven't got to the stage in our business where we're managing the business yet. We're dealing with growth and building big firm foundations, and the reason why we're doing that is the history of the UK market to date. We are finding ourselves having to go out there and educate the clients. Most of them are using DOS-based systems, and they've had a fairly rough ride with systems providers in the golf business for the last 10, 15 years. Within golf in the UK, it's only really become a business in the last 3 or 4 years. I think golf in the USA has been a business for 10 or 15 years, if not longer. In the UK, it's been what you guys would call a mom and pop operation up until very, very recently. So only now are people starting to see the light. Even 3 years ago, if you talked about integration, the eyes glazed over and it went over people's head. They didn't kind of understand what you were talking about when you were referring to an integrated system. So we're having to go out there and be the good guys and educate the market and let people understand that, gosh, that's amazing. You can go from your tee booking system at the press of a button straight into your retail system and pay for that tee time, and at the same time pay for a bit of product that you're buying in the shop too, and manage your stock at the same time. I'm starting to see the picture now. So we've got a big job in hand. Our main competitors, one of them is Barron, which you guys touched on. They have a pretty good DOSy system. Their Windows front end is nothing to write home about. We've got a couple of other competitors. I think in terms of price, we're right up there, one of the highest prices. But in terms of an alternative agenda, you guys have spelled your agenda out. Something we would like to do is to look at almost an alternative business plan, or the alternative business model, which is, let's go as far out as to say, what if we gave our software away for free, we made 100% margin on the hardware, and we charged 35% for annual support? Where would that stand us financially? What would the bottom line look like 3 years from now? Because in the UK market, we've got 2,500 plus golf courses, and to date, Jencess UK have not made an installation, but we're educating the market. We've contacted in excess of 200 golf courses. I work on the group side of it, so as well as doing the marketing and the PR within our group, I've been focusing on group ownerships, Alec on individuals, Claire on managing the business and all the sort of statutory side of things, being a newly set up business. So we kind of spread out between the four of us. There's no one leader within our business. We're very much a four-ball, and we've all got our separate responsibilities. Alex Drinks project management and what have you, so he's overseen certain areas of that, and so we're sort of sharing the workload between us, but our challenges are educating the UK golf market. One of the things we're looking to do is we're thinking about like a pro pack, and what would be within that pro pack, T-way and sailway, and for your X £1,000 or dollars, you get a touch screen, because people can't tell the difference. They can't differentiate between hardware and software. To them, it's one and the same thing. So, we're kind of trying to say to them, look, you're a director of golf. You don't want to get involved in servers or networking or big contracts and what have you. They want to start small and sweet with something they can get their head around and they can understand. And so, we're going right backwards to the point of, okay, if we were to stick a system in your pro shop for £10,000 and it was 2 tills with serveway and T-way on them both, right? Then do we work our way backwards to that network and that server and that clubhouse and to Ackway and to Serveway and to the bigger issue, so that, we started in this club 3 years ago with 2 boxy tills in the clubhouse, and 3 years later, we've got 12 tills and it's a fully integrated system. We're trying to work our way there and work it out for ourselves. Said that we're 4 people. We're using Salesforce.com, finding that enormously useful. Similarly, Instant Messenger for communication. It's nice to at last put names to faces, or faces to names, but it's also great, any hour of the day to see who's online and to feel that you're a part of a bigger network, and you can say, Brock, you're there, how would you do this? Or, you know, Fernando, how the hell do I change these workstation settings or whatever? You know, always nice to feel that the support is there. Another challenge we face in the UK is people don't really want to buy a Canadian product, not because they've got a problem with Canadians or with buying it's just really a foreign product at the end of the day. So we try to pitch ourselves very much as, you know, we're not this Canadian product. One of the wonderful things about Pro Office is you hit a couple of icons and your dollar signs change to pound signs, and it's internationalized like that, you know, and I'm sure you guys find it the same selling in other parts of the world. Kirsten's already selling in euros, you know, and to have a product that's that flexible and compliant to those little things. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, who are saying, yeah, we'll buy your product, you know, even if we can't have pound signs there, it's dollar signs, whatever. We don't have to put up with that, you know. It's terrific that so quickly you can get to a stage where you're selling something with all the localizations dealt with. We try to pitch ourselves very much as Jencess UK, and whoever's got Brock's document in front of them, I think what's lovely is, you know, our influence in the business. We've even got Jencess UK logo on the top left, which is lovely. It's a Jencess Software and Technology brackets UK. And
I'm thinking about you guys.
Thank you for that, Brock.
Just always thinking about you.
Spreading our sales, RF.
Glad to see we're taking over slowly but surely.
Oh.
Yeah, a couple of other seasonality, just to wrap up very quickly, other challenges, the seasonality issue. In the UK, we're very seasonal. Our golf season starts the 1st of April, ends around the early October time. People are so reactively running their businesses at this time of year that they can't be proactive. So we almost, our sales strategy is make a nuisance of yourself at this time of year, so that people know you're out there and they understand what Jencess is and who you are, even if you can't take 3 hours of their time to give them a full product demonstration. Because what we want to do is come October, November, when they say, we can't have another year with that rubbish DOS system we've got, or without any system, we've got to look to invest, then one of the first names that springs to mind is Jencess, and we've got a chance of, you know, being invited to tender for it or whatever. So the seasonality is a big issue. Also, I think the price for us, your general manager and your director of golf probably aren't high level enough decision makers to buy a £20,000 plus system. And so it's very often the owner. And the owner is some guy set up in his ivory tower on his beach house somewhere else, and he's not there at the cutting edge, at the at the till 8 hours a day, realizing all the challenges that his staff face. So you know, it's important for us to be best friends, like Matt is being with the guys who have to use the product 8 hours a day, and at the same time have a different relationship with the owner, that, you know, we're this professional, credible outfit, and that because all the companies you've dealt with for the previous 10 years have been rubbish DOS systems which are unattractive and difficult to train, and, you know, all the other things that go with it, separate us from those guys. We're nothing to do with them. I think we'll wrap it up there. No questions at this stage, but yeah, we know where we're going in the UK. We're very excited about the product. I think there's some issues that we'd like to see, because our market is in excess of 50% of our market is private members clubs. We'd like a few bits and pieces within the product suite in there to suit our market better. But you know, right now we're very optimistic for the future.
Thank you there, Heath. Again, this will draw a conclusion to our morning session.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
Can we get the flash presentation?
Yes, because we're getting there.
Okay.
So this is draw the end, but this is the end of our morning session. And prior to leaving, we are going to be a little bit late for our lunch, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Rhonda's going to be kind enough, we're going to check if it's going to be okay. And the presentation will be shown to everybody very quickly. And then we're going to be moving on to our lunch.
Diamond, let me say one thing that I haven't heard anybody say it here, but for every golf-related facility, probably in the world, there is another facility, a yacht club, a social club, a swim and bath club,
a club that the Edmonton people, the Oilers, when they play, there's probably a club that you go to there where people sign tickets, they use Servway, they have a back office accounting, and in the United States, that accounts for about 16 or 17,000 additional facilities that once you have a strong accounting package, you can go after. Okay, you don't have it today and you can't go after it today, but once you have that accounting package, you can go after that additional business with really all the tools that you have. You might have to add some yacht club information because there's probably 1,000 yacht clubs in the world that you could handle, but there is a marketplace out there that at this point you haven't attacked it, but it's there and there really isn't anybody that is attacking it. The other thing that I was going to mention, which follows up what he said, is we did a study of our customers over a long period of time. And the answer is, it doesn't make any difference how you get the customer. If you just get them with a simple tea time system, or a pro shop, or a handicapping, if you keep that customer for 20 years, that customer will give you $100,000. And we proved this because we had any number of customers that did that. They stay with you, they're loyal, they love the service, they'll buy new product, you move from the front of the house to the back of the house or vice versa. But if you think about it as a long-term relationship, it really doesn't make any difference how you get your foot in the door. You just got to get your foot in the door.
Actually, if I can just make a quick note on that, Skip, he's right, there's a lot of different clubs. Bill Healy with the Hong Kong Resorts, with that deal that we're looking at there, a lot of that software is part of that contract. They're going to pay us to develop marina software and some other software as well. So there'll be other revenue opportunities for all the salespeople as well down the road because of it. You get the light?
Before I run this, can I just mention, there is another member of our team who I haven't actually seen for about 8 months now. It's a guy called Simon McCabe, who's a designer, and it just shows that with communication being what it is today, you don't have to sit in the same office with people. Simon designed these banners here that you can see that we use for marketing. He redesigned the Jencess website, and he's put this together, and he's done all kinds of stuff for us, and he's in the background. He's a bit of a wacky guy, but we certainly like the work he does. And, I'm going to go through this and just sort of hit play, and some of it takes a bit of explanation. It's not completely finished. Some of the screenshots were Friday afternoon on the way to the airport, so let's just make a start. And if you can be quite quiet, because I don't know how loud my speaker is, but there are a few sound effects. And Simon's message on his email this morning was, he's a bit of a Star Wars man. May the Force be with you.
Designed this for two reasons, right? One is we want it to be something that can just roll over and over and over on a plasma screen at a trade show. People walking past your booth can look at it and understand what the solution is all about. It's also something that you can go into a presentation, and instead of having something that's a PowerPoint presentation, these slides come up every time you guys hit the forward button, you go to the next slide. You can start there by saying, you know, that little introduction with a bit of music, Jencess Pro Office, this is what it's about, our mission statement is, bang, and then, you know.
How long is this? 90 minutes?
How many slides?
How many minutes does from beginning to end?
Probably 2 minutes if it's rolling.
Probably a bit longer than that, but we can play around with it and make it as quick as we think it needs to be. We can cut some bits out if we want to sort of a rolling version.
Just before we go on to the slide, that originally when we designed that, every time you press the button, in came the next bullet point. But what you want to be able to do is to stand up and talk with your client and to move through it nice and fast, and for that to be prompting what you're going to say, rather than for you to have to hit the button and say, oh yeah, it's modular, hit it again, oh yes, it's integrated as well. So just to keep coming up and to give you your leads and to help you set the scene, so to speak, at the start of the sales presentation.
We had to get the cogs in.
So you've also tied it in like with the pop-ups and things like that?
Yeah.
Going all towards that theme?
That's great.
Well, something that we also might be able to do is if people feel we need to do two different levels of this, one for if you're pitching to the IT director within a group of golf clubs, and somewhere else where you may be pitching to the director of golf, he's got a lower IT knowledge. You know, we could simplify this by reducing a couple of slides and, you know,
A couple of different versions. So this would be used like before the start of a presentation, before you kind of get onto your demonstration?
Yeah, we find quite often that we get the sort of general manager or someone comes in and then leaves you with the heads of departments. And so if you can just give them a quick 10-minute overview and he thinks, gosh, that's quite good, they might even sit and listen to the rest of it. Because obviously we're not showing whole screen shots, but we can...
showing a snapshot of a screen. I think if you show the whole thing, people sort of want to stop and analyse it and see what's there. Whereas if you're just showing a little portion of it. But,
We've only wanted this for about 8 years.
you know, this is a work in progress, guys. So everybody's welcome to have a copy and to come back and say, look, these are my thoughts and my comments on it. We need to change this or improve that or whatever.
They'll take a whole bunch of them. That would be weird.
What size is this?
1.7 meg at the moment.
1.7?
Yeah.
So you can email it?
Yeah.
Yep.
You can tell from the banners what Simon's been trying to do is to keep the same colours in there, the same uniform font types, the same arrows, everything else, so that when people see a Jencess advert in a magazine, they can associate it with the demo that they saw on the plasma screen at a trade show, or whatever. Everything starts to link up and flow through.
Do you need Clash in your system?
Yeah, but everyone should
Automatically have it downloaded.
This day, if you've got some 2,000 or above, you should already.
Oh yeah, 2,000 above you would. We're always smiling.
You don't want mass being.
Heath, does she work in your office?
She's in our office, yeah.
Wow.
She makes the shoot.
Oh.
She's vegan.
Oh, wow. Oh,
That's
I like that one.
Just saying, no beard, it's good.
Wow, very good.
What's nice is you can then just sort of leave it there. Well, this was Heath's idea until we found out how much projector bulbs were. You kind of leave it running for the next 2 hours while you talk. But,
That's great.
What's nice is
That's awesome.
What's nice is the PowerPoint will finally be retired. Never, Brock.
Sorry to steal that.
No, trust me. Oh yeah. Enough of those little balloon pop-ups.
Well, this is now officially draw like at the end of our morning session. Thanks for Kirk for reminding us of that. So, we are just a few minutes late to our reservation for our lunch. So we're going to be heading out to the main entrance of the hotel. There is a little atrium there. There's a restaurant set up there. So we're going to be grabbing a lunch and then back here again for some great things happening this afternoon. So thank you everyone for this morning session, and we'll see you in about an hour.
That's nice. That's a nice little presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, very clean.